Hey guys, Zal's Mage here, and welcome back to another book review! Oh my god, it's been so long. Actually, how long has it been? Mistborn. Mistborn was the last one that I did. That was a month ago-ish. My time's a little fuzzy because it's spring. Summer break, not spring break. I'm going to be a senior, not a junior. Oh my god, everything's terrifying. Hey guys, how's it going? How's it been? So today, we're doing something different that I haven't really done before. Generally, when I do a book review, I've finished the series. I have, lo and behold, completed everything that needs to be completed to have a full review. That's not the case this time. Because my boyfriend lent me a book. I went down and visited him for a little bit, and then when I came back, I was like, oh crap, I finished my book on the way here. So he gave me a book that I could read on the bus back to New Hampshire, my current location. And so what he lent me is the Vagrant. I think it's Vagrant. I think I always called it Vagrant, so I used to, short tangent, I used to play a game called Fly for Fun, or Flife. I think Flife might make more sense because it's Fly for Fun, but I always called it Fliff, because Flife just sounds more stupid. Fly for life. Anyways, your starting class, so like at level 18, I think, you were able to choose your first like official class, like healer, mercenary, etc. And then at level 60, you gotta choose another one, but that's beside the point. But up until level 18, you were considered a Vagrant. It's spelled like this. I never knew how to say it. That was the first time I ever saw the word. And, this book is called it, which one made me excited to read it, because Fliff was one of my favorite games growing up. I played it all the time. Each time I got a new laptop, I would immediately want to download it, much to the chagrin of my parents. And yeah. Now let's get away from this tangent and back to the book review. Vagrant by Peter Newman. It is different. It's how my boyfriend described it, is that it's supposed to be set up like a myth or a legend of how it's being told. I disagree a little. I can see how that could be a possibility, but there's too much dialogue for me to think that it's like that. Normally, myths and legends only have like the barest of bare bones of dialogue. This has a decent amount, enough that it's still a story, and still like a regular novel and reads like a novel. But it is definitely written differently than most novels. There's less description. Everything that's being described is very focused on one thing. There's not a lot of outside description of like what you would get if like Robert Jordan or Brandon Sanderson or anything like that. But it's not lacking. So it's not like the lack of description makes it hard to read it and like know what's going on or what things look like. There's still a decent amount of description. And I think the story itself is good. It's a different big bad than what I've seen before. Basically, there's this place called like the Breach. You can kind of think of it like Pacific Rim type Breach, except for instead of these giant kaiju coming out to destroy the world, it's these, I don't know, these like tainted demonic beasts that are like, some of them are just kind of like rotting flesh, just like oozing and stuff, and they can give you the taint, so then you become part demonic as well. Or there's one part that's called like the Uncivil, where it's like they take deceased limbs and attach it onto you and like sew it together, and then with magic it becomes working again. Now you have 3 arms. Those are the 2 main types, and they're actually 2 different factions. So the story has technically 4 sides. I won't go into the 4th one though, because that's spoilers. Not spoilers, but like kind of spoilers. Like you don't see the 4th one. You see that it's like a playing faction until towards the end. So we're gonna stick with the 3 currently. There's the humans, which are part of the 7. So the 7 are like these godlike beings that are actually real, that watch over human civility and civilization. The Seraphs are their army. And then when this breach opened up and Thanes came out, like the Seven had been watching for 1,000 years and they kind of forgot about the breach because they're like, yo, it's fine, it's been 1,000 years. And then Thanes came out and they're like, send the Seraphs. So the Seraphs went down, they took all the strong men with them, and then everyone died. That's not a spoiler, that's like happened 8 years before this book. It's told in like little snippets of like, oh, this is what happened, like every other chapter. It'll be like 8 years ago, future, 8 years ago, present, 8 years ago, present, 7 years ago, present. And like it goes up to 3 years, I think. No, not even. It goes up to like when this book starts is when the last flashback happens. But anyways, it's pretty much the Seraphs go down. Pretty much all of them are destroyed. The breach is open. People get loose from the breach. And one Thane takes over one of the bodies of the Seven. You see this right away, not a spoiler. And it becomes the new God King Thane of... Oh, God King is an actual phrase. Of this new realm. And it starts going northward and spreading its vile taint. And then another Thane... So it's Essence, that's like an actual Thane, was still a little too much to possess one of the Seven. One of the Seven are like these big things to begin with. And there weren't any other Seven around besides this one. So the next commanders besides the one that possessed the Seven had to fill human bodies. And their essence is too large for this. Like, they literally cannot be held within one human body. So what the Uncivil did is brought together a bunch of human bodies and, like, put it around them as a cloak and just, like, this cloak of dead. And that's how they got their power. And the sword of the Seven, this one Seven, her name's Gamma. Gamma's sword was lost during this battle. And so the big bad dude was like, hey, Uncivil, go chase after that sword, they call it the Menace, and destroy it. So that's what the Uncivil ends up turning, not quite turning against the big bad, but not happy with him. The Green Sun is what they call him. That's the one name that I remember. So it's Uncivil, Green Sun, Gamma. And then you have the Vagrant. The Vagrant is one of the Seraphs who escaped from this battle. Guess what? He has the sword. And he goes north, and he's basically just trying to get back to the Seven to return this sword to them so then they can go and destroy everyone else. And on the way, he, like, kills so many people because he's a Seraph. Fully trained Seraph. Really strong and knowledgeable about what's going on. This may or may not be sarcasm. Read the book and you'll find out. And then there's just, like, this random baby. You don't know where it came from. You don't know what it's for. Half the book, I thought he was bringing the baby and the sword to the Seven. Then the baby died. No, I'm kidding. The baby didn't die. Or did she? That was stupid. Don't let me do it again. But yeah, so that's like the start of the book of like what's going on here. What they're trying to do, what's happening, why they're trying to do what they're doing. He's like the last Seraph alive, besides the ones that are across the sea. And so these two factions are kind of fighting against the Vagrant dude, but they're also fighting against each other, because they both want to be the ruler of this place. And yeah, it's convoluted. They send little minions off to do things, and then the minions kill each other, and then everything goes blah. The Vagrant kills the minions depending, and I think it's well executed. There's a lot of side characters that have interesting twists and fates that you wouldn't have expected. And the signs are there. Especially for one specifically, the signs are there of like, oh, could have caught that earlier if I was the type of person who tried that. And, yeah. It took me a good 2 or 3 chapters to get into it, I'll admit. Like, okay, more like 4 or 5 chapters. They're short chapters, though. Don't worry. It wasn't like half the book. It was like a 10th of the book. Let's actually look. Where does chapter 5 start? That's chapter 9. It's on page 71. Short chapters are less than 10 pages. So less than 50 pages in the book out of like, yeah, 406, is what it took me to get into it and like going on a roll of like, yeah, this is good, let's finish it. There are 2 more books in the series that I need to get my hands on. I might just smooch them off my boyfriend once he gets them and reads them. We'll see. I don't know quite yet. And because it is written differently, you have to be open to reading different types of books. It's still fantasy. I would still place it possibly in high fantasy sci-fi-esque areas, depending. It's a good cross between it, of where it would fall between fantasy and sci-fi. Maybe not high fantasy. But it's different, and it's good. It's a good different. So if you're open to new styles of writing, and you're open to, you know, the classic escape the evil, save the world. Not one person saving the world, though. He's not, like, in charge of that. His destiny's not to go and kill the big bad in book 1. Like, that's not his purpose in life. So that's actually another twist that isn't usual. He's just the vector. He's not the one doing the killing. Boo. But yeah, I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. And yeah. That's all I have to say on it. This is a quick 11-minute review with a tangent in there somewhere, so more like a 9-minute review. Anyways, I will let you guys know once I've read the next 2 if it continues to be a fantastic series or not. And have yourself a magical day, and I shall see you next time. Bye!